All right, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jacquis. Welcome to the Nightly on Hash Plus, where a good night's sleep is our home run. What's going on, Matt?
Nice intro. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you, mate. Weather's drawing in a little bit. It's darker than it normally is now. It feels very, very dark, which is great.
Do you enjoy when it gets darker sooner?
Weirdly, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm reasonably happy all year round, I reckon. I think I always pine for whichever time of year it isn't. It's a weird thing with me. I feel I'm a bit all over the place, but I do love cosy, dark, cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge fan of that. I much prefer that to the summer months for sure.
Yeah. Weather-wise, summer months can be rough, especially if you live in a place with humidity. Do you guys have daylight savings in the UK?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you when it. I think it's soon.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, it's usually March and November is when it happens yearly. We do too, and I would love to tie a rock to the bottom of daylight savings feet and throw it into an ocean because it is the word. I hate it. I can't stand it. Like, it naturally already gets darker. We don't need to take an hour away. So while I don't mind when it's like daylight until like 8, 9 o'clock, that feels a little excessive. But I also don't love when it gets dark at like 4:15 p.m. as well. So like, I think getting dark around like the 7:30 time frame is like perfect. Because like after 7 feels like, yeah, it should be getting dark now. But before 5 feels unfair.
It does feel unfair. I'm totally with you. The whole daylight savings thing has never really made a great deal of sense to me. I feel like the universe has probably nailed it with the whole sunrise sunset thing. We can just go with that.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, because it makes such little sense to me, I've actually I did a quick dive into the Pillow Fort encyclopedia with this to figure out what on earth is the point of daylight savings time. And this is actually pretty interesting. Well, apparently it was first formally implemented in Germany in 1916 during the First World War as a way to save coal and other resources, and then it's been adopted and adapted over the years by different countries to save energy and synchronize activities with natural light, apparently.
Interesting. Okay. No, I didn't know that. But yeah, I think we can do away with it. And it's one of those things that, like, I don't know anyone who doesn't agree with that. So I don't know why we still have it.
Yeah, I've never met anyone who's on board with it. So let's, get rid of it.
And it screws so many things up. Like, yeah, all right, getting that extra hour of sleep is cool. But, like, if you have souls that you care for, that's not really a thing. Like, if you have pets or kids, that extra hour, they like, brother, I was hungry an hour ago. What are you doing? So you can't sleep in. Losing an extra hour also sucks. Like,
it takes ages to explain the reasoning behind it to a dog as well.
Yeah.
It's a real tough gig, that, trying to explain to a dog that in 1916 in Germany, they had to conserve fuel because of the global conflict. I would love to go back to 1913 and try and avoid the big bad thing as well. But obviously, if we could avoid daylight savings, and I mean, I'm nostalgic for 1913, Jacquis, and as I'm in a nostalgic mood, I was thinking, why don't we jump in the pop culture time machine?
Ooh.
Jacquis, what moment are you going to take us back to here?
I love this. Well, I'm a sports guy. So I would like to take us back to the year 1998. And I would like to take us to the summer of that year. And we're going to Major League Baseball. And we are in the middle of the home run race between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, which a lot of people may also recognize this era as the steroids era in baseball.
Okay.
I recognize this era as the era that saved the sport. So I grew up in Chicago, and I was a Bulls fan, like most everybody else in Chicago and around the world. But in June of 1998 was when the Chicago Bulls were winning their sixth and final championship. And we all knew that that team was going to break up. Michael Jordan was retiring. There was going to be no more Bulls. So they won the championship. High excitement, but then immediate sadness because we knew it was over.
Mm.
Also at this time, across town on the north side of Chicago, on the team, the Chicago Cubs, Sammy Sosa was in the middle of his record-breaking 20 home runs in the month of June. And this was also in the middle of the home run race between him and Mark McGwire to break what had at that point been almost like a 40 or 50 year home run record for the most home runs hit in a single season, which was 61 home runs by Roger Maris, who played on the New York Yankees.
So just for, I'm sorry to just jump in, but I'm probably going to do this a couple of times because I'm so ignorant to baseball and I want to learn more.
No. Jump in.
So Sammy Sosa scored 20 home runs in a month. So for a decent batter, what kind of numbers should we be talking there in a month? What would be usual to expect?
On average, for a person that isn't going to be hitting 60 plus home runs in a season, which not many people have, a few have, and like now way more have since those two, like they were the first two to hit 60 in a year, like in 40, 50 years, like I said. Now there's been more. But before that, a really good home run month for a player, and I'm talking like, oh my God, this person hit that many home runs? 10.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe. Like 10. Like, and that would be like, oh my gosh, really?
Wow.
But Sosa smacked 20 of them boys in the month of June.
That is impressive.
And so Chicago is going crazy now because we're like, this is the most exciting. Also, the Cubs are good again. Like, that was en route to us making the playoffs for the first time in like 9 years. And then also the St. Louis Cardinals, which is who Mark McGwire played for, which is the Cubs' rival. Like, that's our number one rival in baseball. He's on that team, also like just completely crushing the ball through the year. And that home run race revitalized baseball because baseball was America's pastime. That's what it was always known as. But in 1994, 95, baseball had a strike. And that really soured a lot of people on the sport.
So what was the strike?
It was collective bargaining, money, like, you know, agreements and stuff like that. But the players went on strike and the baseball season ended like pretty close to like the playoffs or the World Series. And it soured baseball. A lot of people got turned off by it. A lot of people stopped watching. When baseball came back, a lot of people didn't come back with it. And, you know, home runs are exciting. But two players chasing history, one player chasing history is fun. But two players chasing history, two players going to be like, which one is going to do it?
It's the rival teams as well. Yeah.
Yes, the rival teams. Like, you got this like flashy Dominican player in Sammy Sosa, and you got this white country-fed boy and Mark McGwire. Just like everything about it. And they were like buddies, and so it wasn't like a rivalry as far as like they were also like, we're doing some cool stuff right now. Like, everything about it was so fun, and being in Chicago during that time was so great. They both ended up breaking the record. It revitalized sports. It made me a Cubs fan, which is my number one team now. And it also kickstarted probably one of the biggest black eyes on the sport, which was the steroids era. But in my opinion, I'm like, man, the steroids era was awesome. Like, People were crushing home runs. People were excited. Like Barry Bonds was hitting home runs into the ocean every game. It was like beautiful. It was such a beautiful time in sport, and it revitalized baseball, and it made baseball cool again.
So who actually won out in terms of McGwire and Sosa? Who won out at the end of? They both broke the record.
Mark McGwire eventually won out, but I know Sosa finished with 66 home runs. And mind you, the record was 61.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to look this up, I think Mark McGwire ended with like 70.
Wow,
yeah, he had
okay.
70 home runs, which became the new single season record for another like 3 years. And then Barry Bonds broke that like 3 years later. And so that was another cool thing. We had went like 40 years plus without a baseball player hitting more than like 55 home runs, which was also like, oh my gosh, but nobody had hit 60. And then from 98 to like 2006, we had like 20 players hit 60 home runs. And it was like just such a fun time in baseball. It was great.
It's wild, isn't it? Sometimes all it takes is a couple of people to do something, and that's sort of the benchmark then, isn't it? And then loads of people do it. That must be a weird sort of psychological thing in sport, because that seems to happen, doesn't it? When someone beats a world record in athletics, you think, well, there's no way. Like that would have been inconceivable 20 years ago. But in 20 years' time, that record will be seen as nothing.
It's been broken so many times now, yeah. Something happens or a record breaks, and then it almost feels like the levee breaks after that. And it happens a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why you've gone back to it. That is a big cultural moment. Talk about making the impossible possible.
Mm-hmm.
My pick for going back in the pop culture time machine is a man who really did try to do the impossible and did find out that it was impossible. And I think it's a great story. Are you aware of the work of a man called Ali Deer?
No, I've never heard this.
So this is an incredible story in the UK, which we're going to have to go all the way back to 1996 for this one. So 2 years before Sosa and McGwire. And I'll build you a bit of backstory, Jacquis. Ali Deer was born in Dakar in Senegal, and he really wanted to be a football player. And he played at some lower league football clubs, got a couple of clubs over in England, semi-professional, amateur kind of level. Not really, you might get paid, I don't know, like £30 a week to play, really low level stuff. He had some trials with clubs like Gillingham, Bournemouth, Rotherham. Again, slightly higher up the football pyramid, but still low league. And then he had a great idea, and he phoned the Southampton, who are a Premier League team, so the top division in English football. Graham Souness was manager there. Ali Deer phoned Graham Souness and told him that he was George Weah, who at that time was the FIFA World Player of the Year. He played for Paris Saint-Germain. He was a big deal. And he said, this is George Weah. My cousin Ali Deer is coming over. He's played at Paris Saint-Germain. He's a brilliant player. You should sign him. Hung up the phone. And Graham Souness thought, well, if George Weah says that I should sign Ali Deer. Which is incredible to think about in this day and age, because it's so easy to disprove stuff now.
Yeah.
But then you couldn't just Google something quickly. So as far as Graham Souness knows, one of the best players in the world has said, my cousin's coming over. You've got to sign him. So Ali Deer turns up at Southampton. He's made this whole CV about how he played for Paris Saint-Germain. He'd played internationally for Senegal, and he'd be willing to come and play for Southampton. So Graham Souness signed this guy, who is just a random man to all intents and purposes. He's now been signed for a Premier League top division football club, and he gets brought on in the 32nd minute. Southampton are playing Leeds United, and Matt Letizia was the striker for Southampton, who, I guess he was there like Sammy Sosa, like top scorer, club legend. He gets injured, and on comes Ali Dia in the 32nd minute. And to give you an idea of just how badly it went for Ali Dia, this is unheard of, but he was substituted on in the 32nd minute. He was then substituted off again in the 80th minute. Matt Letizia said that Ali Dia ran around the pitch like Bambi on ice. It was very embarrassing to watch. But he got away with it. He lived the dream for one day. He was a Premier League footballer.
For one day. What a scam artist. And I am here for it. I'm here for it. I love that. That's so funny.
It's such a great story. Because it's every kid's dream to be a professional footballer. And he obviously just thought, well, I could just phone up and tell them that I am. It's amazing more people didn't do that.
That's so funny. Sometimes I wonder how we have more scams now, where like it's so much easier to disprove things than like before, when like it was so much harder to disprove, or it took more time to disprove things, I should say.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me because, like, I wish I could call, hey, is this Red Auerbach from Boston Celtics, right? Yeah. This is Bill Russell. My cousin Jacquis Neal is coming to Boston. Now, I'm telling you, man, you got to put him on. Now, he's only 5'8", which I know is much shorter than most basketball players. But that man can score. And then, you read Archibald, you can be like, all right, Bill, bet. Like, thank you for telling me. And then I come and be like, hey, Bill vouch for you. You'll be coming in the second quarter. And I come in and get blocked every time I put up a shot. But I can say that I played basketball in the NBA. Beautiful.
Yeah, you did it. You pulled the jersey on. You were there. But it is mad, isn't it? That at that point, the only thing you had to say, if someone said, well, what's your proof of this? All you had to do was just say, trust me. Just trust me. You just got to take my word for it. Just trust me.
Trust me, bro. Sources, trust me, bro.
But unfortunately for us, Jacquis, I think it's that ship sailed now because of Wikipedia really putting the clappers on that. So for us, I think the only time that we'll get to play for those sorts of teams, they're probably in our dreams. So
yeah,
I think it's about time to head off and see if I can get a game.
Oh, listen, Dreamland, I can hit 21 home runs in the month of June. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that because it's bedtime. Talk to you next time. Good night, Matt.
Good night, Jacquis.